everyone, I'm Sottovoce. Welcome to my channel. Many by now are aware that I'm a family systems therapist, and because of that, I uphold the ethics of therapy, and client confidentiality is one of the things at the heart of my guiding principles. So, if I bring up a story, it is always with consent, otherwise, I will be sharing my own stories. With that out of the way, I was recently talking to someone very dear to me, and in July 2019, he and his wife experienced a domestic violence induced miscarriage. The wife was physically assaulted by his mother, resulting in the loss of their unborn child. The wife has been stuck in anger and blaming towards him and his mother, and his grief is his own, no one to share with, and an element of self blame. And what actually goes through his psyche and what actually is in his heart, who can actually tell, right? So, on one hand, there is his mother, whom he loves dearly. On the other hand, there is the wife, who blames him along with his mother. But over and above all is the innocent blood, his own blood, his own son or daughter, or twins, perhaps, who knows, because they had not actually had a confirmation scan to tell the gender or to say there was one child, or although they were very certain because of the pregnancy test, they were very certain they were pregnant and the miscarriage happened. Now my question is, how is Father's Day going for this man without his child, who by now should have been past 2 years of age and perhaps making little hand or footprints for his Father's Day gift, or just being there for him to father. Imagine that. So as I was doing my research for this video, I came across something very interesting. That Father's Day was founded in 1910 by Sonora's Matt Dodd as a holiday for honoring fatherhood, paternal bonds, as well as influence of fathers in society. And I do want to thank all fathers who show up in many unique ways, meeting very unique needs of their children. I salute you, I celebrate you, and I urge you to keep up the awesomeness. And I love the fact that it says as well that, as well as influence of fathers in society. So I want to celebrate a different group of fathers. These are fathers who are not necessarily biological fathers. It can be a mentor, a superior, a senior at work, or in other different societal bodies. Just the male figures who stand up for the fatherless, the voiceless, for the children who don't have someone to call a father. This man will take this child under their wing, and they will teach this child certain skills or just the values that this boy needs to know. It can as well be an uncle who takes the fatherly role with maybe a male child to his sister. It can be a grandfather. It it can be anyone. It can be a complete stranger that meets a child maybe who has been labeled a problem child. Somebody has given up on them, and this male figure just comes in and starts standing in as the father figure to this boy, and this boy actually sees a father in this man, or this girl actually sees a father in this man in the actual right sense, in the moral sense. So I want to say, I see you. I appreciate you so much. Now, there is another group, and this is for those who abandon their children. And I want to say, I empathize with you. I am sure you may have gone through certain issues that are hindering you from showing up as your true, authentic self. And in this same breath, I urge you to consider getting all the necessary help you may need so that you may turn around and go back to mend the relations and hearts of the children you have abandoned, because every little girl, every little boy needs a dad. And even if those children that you abandoned as children are now grown ups, it might be very necessary for you to show up, because even in their adult state, they still have that little girl or that little boy who is inside and is still wounded and still suffers from the abandonment trauma. And it may be very, very healing if you are to find your own healing and then go to them and help them to also find healing by turning up, showing up for them. And to an abandoned child, Father's Day is so traumatic. It's traumatizing. It's such a traumatic day, and it leaves deep, deep scars. And this is a topic maybe that I'll touch on later in July or August. So, yeah, the healing is possible, but it requires a lot of work. And if you grew up without your dad because maybe he abandoned you, or even if he died, and you feel that there is that void, that gap, and that pain that nags at you and has never gone away, or that pain that comes with Father's Day, and you have not had a chance to talk to anyone about it, I urge you to find a therapist near you, wherever you are, or find an online therapist, find a therapist of your choice. Then there's also the males who experience male infertility, or the men whose wives are experiencing female infertility. I see you. I see your pain. I acknowledge your pain, and I understand that Father's Day may also be a very difficult day or experience for you. Then there is also the group that has known their children, loved their children, lived up to a certain period with their children, and then death struck, and your child was just suddenly gone. I know you're in pain, or you may be in pain, and I know this day may be a trigger, and I understand that because recently in my family we lost our own shining star. Just in February, we lost our beloved Amanda. May her soul rest in peace, and may her memory be a blessing. And imagine how a father is feeling. So, because of that, I empathize as well with all fathers who have lost their children. I empathize with children who have lost their fathers. I empathize with children, even of fathers who are fighting in Ukraine or who have fallen in Ukraine or any other war. I empathize with you, and I also see the mothers who have had to be both mother and father to children since birth, either due to death of the father to the child, or just the aspect of abandonment, or even the aspect of rape, where you conceive through rape and you give birth to their child, especially in Africa. It happens a lot. And Father's Day can be the day that child keeps asking you, where is my dad? And you carry that wound, that pain. So I see you, I hear you. And if you're going through those painful moments, I am so sorry. I empathize with you. I hear you and I see you. Lastly, a particular group that I want to commend very highly is that of fathers who never married their partners or divorced, otherwise separated from the mothers of their children, and yet they are genuinely trying to be part of the children's lives. And of high or great importance is that in this particular group, they are constantly facing challenges from the former partner who may have weaponized the children and tries to hurt this man by denying him access to his children without perhaps realizing the effects that this also has on her children. She may not even be realizing how much damage she may be causing. That being said, I urge you, mothers, I urge you to consider your children's best interest before you deny access to the men who sired these children.